All right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin the evening with a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice and service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jessica's statement of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 27th day of October, 2025 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Halisi.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Sinarski.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Here. Approval of prior minutes of the Mayor and Council, Council President.
Abstain. Shoot, you weren't here.
Oh, that's right. I have to abstain. And make a motion to approve, subject to correction, October 14th, regular and agenda and executive session minutes.
Second. Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Halisi.
Yes.
Roberts.
Abstain.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, we have a lot of people to honor tonight, and with that, we're going to get started. So if the council would go behind the rail, and if Donna, our council president, would go in front of the rail. Sue Paul, ladies first.
Thank you. Hi, Sue. Come on and stand here so you can be on the camera.
Okay,
How are you doing?
good.
Good. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a certificate of recognition presented to Sue Paul for serving on the Library Board of Trustees for 40 years, serving as its president, creating Memorial Garden, dedicating her time to our local food bank, serving 34 years as a reading specialist in our elementary schools, and being a teacher, leader, volunteer, wife, mother, grandmother, and above all, a friend to all of us. Sue, congratulations. Thank you.
Now you need to come on this side before you talk.
There's the wire.
Your microphone?
Or what? All I'm going to say is thank you. I enjoyed doing it all those years. And I'm so happy that the library is in the state it is today, because I think we are one of the top in the state, and a lot of it belongs to the rest of the trustees that are here and our director, Leah. Thank you.
Leah, stand up.
Just stand up. I just said.
Stand up and wave to the camera.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you again.
Also March.
Okay.
Working.
It
That's
is?
the long legs.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. Next, I'd like to recognize the Committee for Festival of Lights. Would you all like to come up with me? You're all dressed wonderfully. Take your jacket on. Oh.
Careful about wine. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, can you all see yourself on TV? Okay, smile. Borough of Sayreville Certificate of Recognition presented by the Mayor and Borough Council to the Festival of Lights Committee. The Borough of Sayreville wishes to extend its congratulations on a successful event. Your efforts have enriched us generously because the community possesses no greater treasure than the dedicated service of its people. To the Festival of Lights Committee, thank you. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
If you don't mind, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Is it working?
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor and Council. First of all, thank you for great support you provided and allowed us to do this event. Mayor, thank you specifically. Yes, I know. That's why I have to look up. I had to look up. But thank you for you to recognize me and allow me to have this, put together this event. Now, Eli, come on up. Eli is our committee member. I want to thank, there's a lot of things I need to do because this is such a great event. It would not be possible with a lot of efforts from a lot of people. So I want to start with thanking our recreation department. What a wonderful group of people working for the borough. They were smiling every time, helping us. And specifically, I want to recognize my friend, became my friend, Rich Popowski. I also want to thank Denise Solinsky and Jamie Kurtz, who are part of the employee of the town. They did just a wonderful help putting together, responding. So thank you. Thank you, both of them. Now I'm going to recognize I'm going to introduce all our committee members, starting with two special members of our committee, the council members, Councilwoman Donna Roberts. Thank you. And Councilman John Jabrowski. We had a group chat discussing all the things need to be doing, to be done on this for this event. And they were part of always encouraging us, supporting us. And when we had a meeting here, they came to the meeting and continue to support us. So thank you, both of you. The preparation took about 5 months to put this event together. So, all this time, if I bother you at the middle of night, sorry. I also want to thank Zach Schills and Brian, Director of Recreation. They were just unbelievable support to us. Brian was a great guidance to us, bringing all different vendors that we needed, putting together online registration, responding to people signing it up. Believe it or not, we had over 70 vendors that night at the event. And now let me recognize the committee members. Myself, I was the chair of the committee. Tushar Parikh and Vijay Shah. These two were my lifeline. They did an unbelievable amount of work. All the layout and everything that happened in the parks organized by Tushar, and all the entertainment that took place, it was a Vijay putting it together. So thank you, both of you. The other committee member is Rishi Shah, our youngest member. Eventually, he's going to carry these things in the future. Minesh Shah, where's Minesh? Right there. Chirag Trivedi. Chirag is our local pop singer. Would I say that? He lives in Tangletown, and he's one of the entertainers. He was there last year. Noren Shah. Kalpana Trivedi. Okay. Sangeeta Das. Vivek Radhakrishna, who couldn't be here. And Eloy Fernandez, our member of the Board of Education. He was such a great help. And I want to recognize last but not least, Janvi Mehta. Janvi, it's a special person. She's the owner of Bombay Talk restaurant at the Route 9 and Ernston Road. Great restaurant, great food, but she was just tremendous help from the beginning to end. And she's also a platinum sponsor for this event. So thank you, Janvi. I'm not going to name so many volunteers help. We had over 30 to 40 volunteers that day helping us organizing the event. And I want to recognize our sponsors now. Without their generous contribution, we could not have do the major events like that. It was a lot of expense. So our two grant sponsor, Amboy Bank, Mr. Greg Sharp. The Amboy Bank is our local bank. And the Patel brothers, Mr. Mahendra Patel. He's the local grocer at the corner of, again, it's corner of Ernston Road and Route 9. So thank you, both of them. And they had a big contribution to get started with this event. Now I want to recognize our platinum sponsor, CME Engineering. Justin is here. Kathiawadi Kitchen, believe it or not, is a famous restaurant in town. It's right on Journey Mill Road, just before, next to Wawa, the little shopping center. That restaurant, not much known here, probably locally, but it's known to tri-state. People are coming for dinner there or food there from all over, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, you name it. They're so famous. Hoagland and Longo, our attorney at law, is a Sarah attorney. Thank you. Graceburg Charity of 2020 acquisition. Bombay Talk, again, I said, but it's a vegetarian restaurant, and it's very popular. It's very popular restaurants, great food. The gold sponsor, we had one gold sponsor, Just Like Home. We have silver sponsor, Giorgio RX Family Pharmacy. That's located in Mini Mall, and I hear great things about that pharmacy. So please visit them. State Family of Dwarkadish Temple, Suhag Gold and Diamond Jeweler. They're located in Edison. They sell 22 karat gold jewelry. Shaker ShopRite. Thank you, ShopRite, for their support. We also had some community sponsor, Columbia Bank, Prestige Auto, United Healthcare, Desh Pradesh Magazine, Riverside Supply. Community sponsor that did not provide cash but in-kind service, which is also very helpful. Jamestown LP, known for the Riverton Project, the home of Bass Pro. Surti Food and ARA. So thank you, all of them. And Mayor, again, Mayor and Council, thank you. Thank you for your support.
Can I take a picture? विजय जी, एक मिनट फोटो खींच दो.
Oh, yeah. One picture, everybody.
We're gonna have to put something formal on the table, because I think we I gotta pay. Track I'm looking at. Portion.
It's on the.
I think-
I'm sure it's fruity.
There says only one picture.
I don't think it's.
I don't know, check it out. Maybe not.
All right, before you go, why don't you stay for the last recognition? Another team that's worked very, very hard for our town. So I'd like to bring up Cultural Arts Commission, please. Come on this side too, balance it out. Come on up.
Come on up. Come on up, Nancy. Come on up, Nancy. Michelle, come on up, Nancy. Jessica, come on up.
Manju, could you take some pictures?
Are we all here? The shy ones are not wanting to come up. VJ's missing. VJ,
Vijay, come on.
I got it.
what a wonderful town full of resourceful people we have here. I have the Borough of Sayreville Certificate of Recognition presented by the Mayor and Borough Council to the Cultural Arts Council. The Borough of Sayreville wishes to extend its congratulations on a successful year of events. Your efforts have enriched us generously because a community possesses no greater treasure than the dedicated service of its people. Congratulations. I'm going to present this to the chairman and co-chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. And would you like to say a few words, Chris?
Yes, I'll try to keep them short.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say thank you for the humble recognition, Mayor and Council. I really enjoyed doing first year with the tunes with Maura and then bringing it back with Sharon. And this year adding more events like our teen nights and our Halloween scare in the air. It was it's so much fun, and I hope we make this town proud. I hope everybody loves what they see and see us doing in the future.
Thank you. And now I'm going to ask Sharon. Sharon was very instrumental in a lot of our teen events and the more recent scare in the air trail that happened. So let me Sharon explain. She is the creative genius behind those.
Hi, everybody. I want to just tell you who's standing up here with us and who we appreciate so greatly, because it's not only us here that is doing it. When I call Michelle Babino for any help, she's right there to help us and decorate, and her husband, they're out there 10 in the morning. We've got our DJ Jared, who's going to be coming with us forward for all of our teen events. We're already talking and planning. He was so instrumental in our Hawaiian night. We had about 450 people, and he got the crowd so pumped. On this side, we've got Greg, Chris's brother. We work like we're such a family here. And our newest member, Brian, it's just been so much hard work, and it's so amazing. And we're just hoping to grow. We want to push forward and move like 8 tunes in the park to 10. We have ideas for Christmas ideas. And I see Leah in the audience every time I call Leah at the library for support and help and advertising. Thank you so much, Leah, for always supporting us on this, on our cultural arts. I'm going to just pass this along to anybody who wants to say anything. Nancy.
I have a little thing I wrote. I hope I don't take up too much time, if you don't mind.
You are Nancy.
I think I could, scream.
No,
No, no, no, you have to use
You
this.
do I really? Okay,
You do.
sorry. Okay, I hope I don't take up too much of your time.
I'm sorry.
Hello.
Just say who you are.
My name is Nancy. I'm going to give you a Sedlak. I'm going to give you a little bit of history for those of you who don't know me or who are new to the town. My mom, Kathleen Firstlew, was born in the living room floor on 228 Washington Road in 1929. She went on to marry my dad, Michael Mickey Sedlak, an ambitious young man from Woodbridge. Mickey's passion for sports and community spanned over 50 years in the town of Sayreville. He volunteered and worked for them, and he was so proud to be a part of this town. I grew up accompanying him to every field, every court, every day, every game to make sure everything was going well. From fishing derby, skate park, cultural committees, parades, endless community and holidays, cricket leagues. He's everyone's Santa. He was everybody's Easter bunny. We all loved him and we all miss him. He poured his heart and soul into this town. He loved Sayreville and our people. The recreation center was named in his honor, which meant the world to him. Thank you, Kennedy. My dad is no longer with us. It's been 14 years, sadly, since he's passed, and I haven't attended the town events as often as I used to. So I miss hearing "You're Mickey Sedlak's daughter" and the kind words that followed. So I'm going to bring it to present now. I saw a post about the Scare Trail and the event at Burke's Park, and I messaged Sharon. I never met Sharon. I didn't know who she was. I just said, I have some props available if you're interested. And she said, your name sounds familiar. That touched my heart. It was music to my ears. And I said, I told her I'm Mickey's daughter and I would love to contribute. It's been a while. So I intended only to drop off the props and then go home. But then I said, let me stick around and help these guys. I met Sharon and Chris and the rest of the team and the volunteers for the first time. During the event setup, it clicked. I saw a spark, a passion, an energy. I saw thrill and excitement. I decided to return at night, curious how they would transform the park. And to my delight, they took the dark, silent woods, and it was now aglow. An enchanted vision came to life. Yes, the turnout was phenomenal. Yes, the vendors were awesome and unique. And the committee and volunteers did a tremendous job. But what I want to share with you is what I experienced, what this team did for me. It created a feeling, it created an emotion, a vibe, something like when you watch a movie or watch a play or an author that makes you feel good about reading a book. It's a feeling you can't explain. It's magical. It's just a feeling. Well, that's what this committee did. And people didn't just show up, they participated. So many came in costumes and they portrayed their characters. We all became actors of the night. They showcased the talents of the theater group. We all sang along. We all chanted Beetlejuice as one. We all greeted each other as the personalities our costumes suggested that we were. It was great to see participation. We didn't just show up, walk around and leave. We joined in the night and celebrated together as one. A wolf was ordering tacos. A grave digger was dragging a shovel. Endless Beetlejuice clones. Families dressed in themed costumes. We all felt included. It was our party. The laughter and joy of the kids and families was a magical treat. I'm so ecstatic, Chris, Sharon and team, that you're being recognized tonight. And it's imperative to our community that these guys, they knocked it out of the ballpark. I look forward to what they have on the upcoming agenda. I am so glad I had the opportunity to meet everyone and admire their work. It does take a village to make things happen. Sharon and Chris, your passion and enthusiasm is key to the success of these programs. You made everyone feel included. We need new ideas. We need new programs. We need to grow together. My dad would be proud. Let's continue to support Cultural Committee and look forward to events to come. Thank you for bringing me down memory lane. It's been a long time. My heart is whole. And go Dodgers for Mickey.
Okay, Anyone else from the committee wish to speak? Okay, so I have one last comment from our councilman, Stosh Sinarski.
Thank you very much. My wife Lori can't be here today, but she's doing something else, but she's very, very proud of everything the cultural arts did this year. And she wrote a little letter, and I'm going to read that off to you. I wanted to congratulate, this thing's not working 100%. I wanted to congratulate the cultural arts team on a job well done. It was awesome to see so many people at so many events and the community gathering for fun to celebrate. Sayreville is growing and diverse, and we need to change the way we look at things. There are great opportunities to bring neighbors together for fun events, and you guys did a great job. Getting it off the ground this year was very important. Be proud, and hopefully we'll continue this path in 2026 and beyond. As we have now new people and new businesses moving into our town, we need to be competitive with other towns and engage our neighbors. Let's continue to make this a priority.
Thank you. And I just want to add one last thing. If you ever wanted a hallmark moment in our town, you had a lot of opportunities for that between the concerts, the Scare Trail, the teen nights, the Festival of Lights. We are going to kick Hallmark's cards. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, yeah.
I just want to invite anyone who wants to come to our next cultural arts meeting. It's November 5th. Anyone is welcome to come. We're going to start brainstorming for next year. We're going to recap how we're going to decorate and join the parade. We're going to do something to join the parade this year, but it's at 6 o'clock in the Mickey Sedlak building. We're hoping that Ms. Sedlak joins us, and I know Edna, who served on the cultural arts for 10 years, is back with us. So we're so proud that we're bringing people back to us also.
Excellent. Great job. Great job, everyone. Okay, I think we're good to go. You got all your pictures?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cultural
Okay,
arts.
thank you.
Thank you again.
Good job, Sharon.
Thanks, Sharon.
There's
Thanks,
Brian.
young man.
Good job.
Hey. Thank you. Everyone, Amanchu, let me get 1 minute here, fellas. Hey, everybody, let me just grab 1 minute here. Eli, if you would, come on up. So Sayreville, again, is indeed a town that has changed. In our current demographic makeup, we're 20% Latin, we're 18% Asian Indian, we're 47% European, we're 13% African American. So I asked Eli Fernandez of our Board of Education if he, along with Himanshu, would organize this borough's first Latin Day, and the two fellas agreed. So why don't you tell us some of your early plans?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, this is a project that's very near and dear to my heart. As the mayor said, our town has grown, and as Mrs. Sinarski mentioned, the diversity in our town has changed. Those of us that grew up in this town when I was a little kid, we realized quickly that people didn't speak like us. They didn't eat the same foods as we did. However, what we did experience was the warmth and the love that this town did to embrace us. And we grew in this town. This town's grown and changed over time. And having this event to let kids like myself understand that they are known, they are seen, and this is their town is a wonderful event. And I want to thank the mayor for having that vision and the compassion, and each and everyone on the council, from Councilman Khaleesi, Councilman Zimbrowski, Councilwoman Novak, Council President Donald Roberts, Councilman Sinarski, and Councilman Balka. Thank you all for believing in this event and in the Festival of Lights. Both of these events are events that really show how this town has grown and the warmth and the love that this town has shown. And my friend Himanshu, who's graciously been volunteered and drafted to join this project with me, I can't think of someone better to
More
help
than
me
happy
along.
to help. From my experience putting together this event, I will certainly be part of it. And I agree I know when I moved in 1986 in Sayreville, probably I was the only Indian in town. Now we have 18% population, so the town has grown beautifully. I think that we bring a lot of positive, a lot of culture to this town, and I think it was demonstrated on a Festival of Light. So thank you. And I'll be part of it. I'll be with you all the way.
Your hand's gonna get.
You're doing great, brother. Good to see you.
That'll be one of my kids.
Anything for executive? Anything for executive?
No.
Yeah. Okay. We'll wait till it clears out a little bit. Okay, we'll get back to business. At this time, I'm asking Councilman John Zabrowski to read a proclamation. If I could have everyone's attention.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to get up to the mic and ask
By all means.
retired Chief Ed Scudney to come up as well.
Well, then the council needs to go to the rail. Chief, come on up.
It's behind the curtain.
So sometimes community service takes different form. And in this particular case, this recognition is more of a solemn recognition. It's recognition of an anniversary that took place 70 years ago, a tragedy that took place 70 years ago. But it's the community spirit of the members of Sayreville that we recognize all the hard work of those people that sometimes give the ultimate sacrifice of their own life in the pursuit of doing what's best for their community. So tonight, and I thank Chief Ed Scudney for reminding us of the 70th anniversary, we're recognizing Trooper John Anderson. Trooper John Anderson passed away 70 years ago at the hand of an assailant when he was shot and killed nearby to the New Jersey Parkway in Middletown, New Jersey. Trooper Anderson, before becoming a member of the New Jersey State Police, was also a veteran of the U.S. Army. So he tells you he doubly provided service. So tonight, I'm going to read this proclamation. But as I do so, it's not in sadness of what he did, but in recognition and celebration of the community service he provided, both as a soldier and both as a member of the state police, and more so in recognition of all our first responders. You know, at the worst time and when people are in need, that's when our first responders are there. And today's generation and today's culture, unfortunately, danger is all around them when they go out to provide services. So I will ask you as I read this to recognize every one of our first responders, our paid police officers, our volunteer firemen, and our volunteer AMS for all the efforts that they give, because regardless of when they go out for those services, they do face danger and the opportunity of maybe not returning home. So I ask you to keep them in their prayers, in their recognition, as I read the following. Whereas John Anderson was born in Dover, New Jersey on March 19th, 1919, and whereas after graduating high school, he joined the United States Army, where during World War II, he served with distinction as a master sergeant. And whereas after his military service, Sayreville resident John Anderson enlisted in New Jersey State Police on August 1st, 1953, and upon graduation from Class 43 of the New Jersey State Police Academy and awarded badge number 1191. And whereas on November 1st, 1955, while assigned to Troop E, Trooper John Anderson was on patrol on the Garden State Parkway in Middletown Township at milepost 112.5 at 10:45 p.m. when he encountered a car that had been reported stolen. And whereas Trooper Anderson engaged in a violent struggle with the armed suspect, during which he was mortally wounded, and whereas Trooper Anderson, despite his wounds, was able to crawl back to his trooper car to summon help. And whereas Trooper Anderson was transported to Riverview Hospital in Red Bank, where he expired at the age of 36 after serving 2 years and 3 months, and whereas the residents of the Borough of Sayreville steadfastly support the members of the law enforcement community and acknowledge their daily sacrifices, and whereas Trooper John Anderson made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of the people of the state of New Jersey, and now, therefore, the mayor and council of the Borough of Sayreville, in honor of the 70th anniversary of his death and in gratitude for his selfless bravery, do hereby declare November 1st, 2025 as Trooper John Anderson Day. And I thank Chief Scudney for bringing this to our attention, reminding us about Trooper Anderson, and we'll keep his family and all our first responders in prayer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
His family, John?
I just need a motion to accept that proclamation.
So moved.
Motion.
Second. Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Valka,
Yes.
Parisi,
Yes.
Roberts, Sinarski,
Yes.
Dabrowski.
Okay, this time I'm going to open the public portion on the resolutions. Are there any questions or comments on tonight's resolutions? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve and to close the public portion.
Mayor, yes, I'll make a motion.
Close the public
Close the
portion.
public portion and
Approve on roll call.
approve, hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Valka,
Yes.
Parisi,
Yes.
Novak.
Just have one question. The Jersey Central bill. I was told at the last meeting we were not paying them. Was that just the one meeting we weren't paying
No, we're
them?
withholding until the repairs are complete.
Okay, because it doesn't say that on the bill.
Well, we're obligated to encumber the funds, but they're not being sent out.
Thank you. Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Dabrowski.
Yes.
I need a motion to accept the correspondence that's listed.
So moved?
Second. Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts, Valka,
Yes.
Parisi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Dabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor and Council reports, Administration and Finance, Councilman Balka.
Thank you, Mayor. Progress.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Councilman Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two quick items. First, I want to also personally thank all the volunteers for their efforts on those two great events. And in congratulations, this past Wednesday, we held the annual Halloween party at the Active Adult Center. And I just want to offer my thanks to Jen and her staff for all their help, all the other volunteers that were involved in this as well. It was a huge crowd. We were all there. And there was lots of smiles, lots of costumes, some dancing, and I think everybody had their bellies full. So it was really truly a great event. And keeping in the theme Halloween, I just ask all our residents to have a little vigilance. I know the weather probably won't be great for Halloween, but there's going to be a lot of trick-or-treaters out there. Do me a favor, take some vigilance, take some time, have some patience, because there's going to be a lot of people walking on those streets. And if you're traveling, particularly in an automobile in those streets, just have the extra vigilance to know that everybody's out there, because we want to have not only a happy, but a safe Halloween as well. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Safety, Councilman Kalasi.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm proud to report that our public safety departments continue to work closely together, keeping Sayreville safe, prepared, and connected. So from Emergency Management Director Chris Bardsley reports that OEM partnered with our police and fire departments, along with the Board of Education Safety and Security teams, during a very busy weekend of community events. That included the homecoming football game, their dance, the Diwali celebration at the Dwarkadish Temple, and the Festival of Lights in Kennedy Park. So an Operations Command Center was established for all these events. And I'm very pleased to share that there was no incidents. So OEM also continues progress on digitalizing the borough's emergency mapping system and coordinating with JCP&L on the streetlight improvements. So from Fire Chief George Gavin, our firefighters have been active with calls, community events, and continued training on the new ladder truck. So, and lastly, from Police Chief Dan Plumacher, the department continues to strengthen community engagement and maintain a strong visible presence throughout town, especially around our schools, parks, and the business districts during the large gatherings. So training, recruitment, and professional development remain our top priorities as the department continues to uphold the highest standards of service. So all three departments continue to work hand in hand, and I want to thank them for their dedication, their professionalism, and teamwork in serving all of us as the residents of this community. Every day, just thank you. That's the end of my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Works, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I'd just like to say, for brevity's sake, ditto on the active adults Halloween party and Diwali. And again, I thank God for the weather, because it first time didn't look too good, and it really worked out very, very well. I would like to read a letter into the record. I didn't know we were having the cultural arts here. I would have asked them to stay. I got about 6 or 7 letters about the scare night. And I just thought I'd just read one into the record, because people don't usually take the time. I get a million letters on something that they're not happy about, but when they're happy about something, and I just felt it would be appropriate to read one of them. This is from a Kelly Wonkmuller. I know I probably killed that name, but it was awesome to see the community come together for this event and the volunteers who showed up to help set up. I was not expecting to see so many there helping out for the cause. It brought us all together. It was fun. My family enjoyed it, and many others seemed to enjoy it as well. I hope to see this event again next year, and many, many kudos to Sharon and Chris, who worked tirelessly to make this amazing. Thank you. That was from just one resident, and I'd like to say a personal thank you. I had originally intended on going to the event. I was just going to wear my robe and put my hair in curlers. I figured I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But a couple of weeks ago, I had COVID and I was still recuperating, but they were sending me pictures all night long. So I would like to thank them for that. It really did, do my heart well. I have one question, and probably nobody's going to be able to give me this answer. I received a letter from somebody who was trying to find out about a refund on the money that they paid for the junior bombers. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that was on the agenda tonight. We've got the funding now. We're going to start dispersing those refunds over the next couple of weeks. We had to develop a mechanism to do that. And our apologies, we thought we conveyed accurately to the leagues on how things were going to work. They wound up collecting registrations. Despite those conversations, we've gotten the communication iron out, and those monies will be reimbursed through the leagues in the upcoming weeks.
Well, that's all I needed to know. Thank you, Glenn. As usual, you're on top of it. I just would like to say everything else is progress and everybody have a wonderful and a safe Halloween.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. Water, Sewer, and Environmental, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, Mayor. The first thing I want to tell Mary, she can say thank you. She's right there. Okay.
Just told me.
Yeah, for the record,
I didn't kill your name too
All
for
right.
the record, it's Kelly Wenkmuller.
The next one I want to add is about the Sayreville Police Department. Add to Mike's report. We had a major power outage in my area, Sayreville. It was out for over 3 hours today. So there was at least 3 schools that were out of power that I know of. So all of the confusion from all the kids getting out of the school and all the traffic lights out, the Sayreville Police Department did an excellent job diverting the traffic around, and instead of making left turns at 4-way intersections like by Dunkin' Donuts, they just made them go straight right across, and they kept the traffic moving. And all Ernston Road, same thing. Where the Chase Bank is, Ernston and Washington, they kept the traffic moving there. They kept the traffic moving on the other end of Washington, and even by Emma Arlett School. You know, all the lights were out. So they did a great job, and I just want to thank them for everything that they did today. As far as the water and sewer, the water first time we're under 200 million gallons per month, and that's only because nobody's really watering their lawns that much, but we do still have a drought situation. We're supposed to be getting 2 inches of rain on Thursday, but I'll believe that when I see it. Our water levels in all our aquifers are definitely low, so please continue to curb your water usage so we can, not run into any problems in the future. You got to really love the garden center with the community garden. They really did a great job. They contributed a lot of food to the senior building. Also, the trucks, the vendors, the farmers market, that's perfect. We were there the other day again. You got to stop in there and just get something and support the local businesses in Sayreville. That's the end of my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Recreation, Council President Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. So when I was first assigned recreation, I had all of the groups that I represented, the library, Human Relations Commission, Rec, and Cultural Arts meet so that we could do a master calendar so we didn't step on anybody's toes. And I think we did a great job of it this year. We had so many events throughout the year that we've reported on, and I've got more to tell you that were successful that had just occurred. Of course, you heard about the Beetlejuice night and Burke's Park and Scare in the Air, which was so amazing. If pictures don't do it justice, it was a great night. Looking forward to more of it. Then the Festival of Lights was the next day because the Beetlejuice was postponed for rain. We had the one that I missed because I do have a day job is the senior Halloween party. So I'm glad to hear that went over really well. We've had our car shows, Cruising at Kennedy. We had this past Friday, Trunk or Treat, which was like a mile line of kids for like the entire duration of the event. And before that, one of the things I've done since I've been invited maybe 4 years ago was Legislators Back to School Day. And I have to say that the kids that were in the classes that I presented to were very bright, engaged, and wanted to know what was going on. And believe it or not, they were engaged. We talked about taxes, how they're distributed, how we pay for things in the municipality. We even talked a little about pilots and how they are structured and used and where they might be good and where they might be bad. So it was really wonderful to have some open minds to have those discussions with. We also had yesterday the St. Stan's Car Show. So if you can't find something to do in Sayreville almost every week of the year, you're not looking hard enough. We might try to we keep trying to get the full calendar, but there's always something. Other things I wanted to follow up with is because I was in the school, they are very interested in, and I know we tried to move this before, was an internship program. The challenge we had with that was the timing that the kids got off of school. And I believe now that there is a work release that they have that we may want to look into. So Glenn, I'm probably going to talk to you and see if there's some way we can accommodate that. And I think you do. Do you use interns in the summertime?
We have a few.
You have a few, okay. So that might be a great opportunity. And I want to make sure that early in the year, regardless of who's here, that we participate in the Lewis Bay, the second Future Municipal Leaders Scholarship Program. So we want to stay in contact with the high school for that scholarship program to get entries. We had, for a few years, we had some entries and they did pretty well. We were impressed. And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. It must not have been that important because it's not on my list written down, but I'm going to need a nap after all these events that I've been attending with the cultural arts and the Festival of Lights. So it's probably why I'm losing my voice for having so much fun. That's it, Mayor.
Excuse me, I got one more thing for the Halloween night at Jerry Usfield. I think we have a new record. There was over 80 pounds of candy given out. Just picture 80 pounds of candy that was given out that day. That
was from one trunk.
yeah. Ours was 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, that's just a crazy number, but that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We have an employee in the Recreation Department. His name is Jeff Schnitzer. If Jeff isn't born and raised in Sayreville, he's the closest thing to it. Anyway, Jeff has been with the borough almost 20 years now. Long story short, he fell. And Jeff's a big fella, probably bigger than I am. And he compressed a number of the lower vertebrae in his back, and he's crippled at the moment. One of these freak accidents, and I saw on Facebook today, his wife posted that he's starting to be able to move some of his toes. But I just wanted everybody, Jeff's been a great employee. He went all through our school system. His family was always very actively involved in Sayreville. So if you have room in your prayers tonight, if you would pray for his recovery. A good man, and we should keep him in our prayers. Second thing, at the light celebration, Donna, I'm having a senior moment. Festival of Lights. I met parents, and they were telling me about their son, who was a Sayreville High graduate. And apparently, if you're a mountain climber, there are 7 peaks in the world that separate you from the beginners and the novices to the accomplished. Their son has climbed 5 of those peaks so far, one of them being Mount Everest. And I said to the parents, I said, this is something I would really like to celebrate. And I gave them my contact information, and I said, send me your contact information. So if you're having a boring night at home and you're watching this meeting, please send it to me, mayor@sayreville.com. That's quite an accomplishment. And we have a lot of kids that grow up in Sayreville, go through our schools. I met another group of parents, and I remember the mother said to me, she said, I don't think you remember me. And I looked at her and I thought, and I looked at her and I thought, I said, yes, I do. I said, you came to the council meeting many years ago because your son and his pals were standing out in front of the library, throwing snowballs at cars, and the Sayreville PD rounded up the boys and brought them home to their mothers. And she was kind of new to town, and she looked at me and I said, same thing happened to me when I was your son's age. I was throwing snowballs at cars. The police got me and they brought me home to my mother. And the result was I stopped throwing snowballs at cars. That being said, sometime later, I stopped by her house And I said, I want to see how your boy's doing. And today, and so he was, kids are amazing. He was producing his own music. He had whatever you needed in those days, which was probably a good 15 or more years ago. He was in high school. And today he's a record producer, a music producer. We have great kids coming out of our schools. We have great kids growing up in our town. So just a reminder, sometimes you forget how good it is. Being said, two things. The first one's about Kennedy Park and Fair Share Housing Plan. Many residents have asked about the 40 acres of privately owned land next to Kennedy Park and why it was included in the borough's Fair Share Housing Plan. While it's certainly not ideal for this land to ever be developed, the state of New Jersey requires every municipality to identify all potentially developable properties when preparing their housing plans. This ensures towns meet state affordable housing obligations. If the borough were to exclude this property, the state could reject our plan entirely. That would expose Sayreville to what is known as builder's remedy lawsuits, cases where developers can bypass local zoning and push through large-scale housing projects with little or no municipal control. By including the property in our plan, the borough maintains control over how it could be used. We have limited any potential future development to age-restricted housing with an affordable component, ensuring that if anything ever does occur, it will be done in a controlled and responsible way. It is also important to note there are no current plans, proposals, or approvals for construction on this property. Any development would likely be many years away if it happens at all. We have also reached out to the property owner to explore purchasing the land for preservation as open space, but the owner has made it clear that they are not interested in selling. While some may focus on what might happen someday, this administration remains focused on what's happening now, the improvement and investments that residents can already see and enjoy. We've delivered new parks and playgrounds, upgraded recreation facilities, built new walkways and pickle courts, launched the Sayreville Farmers Market, made all youth recreation sports free for resident children, and brought back the Cultural Arts Committee, which has hosted an incredibly successful season of community events. Sayreville is moving forward responsibly, protecting open space where we can, maintaining local control, and continuing to deliver real results for our community. Second thing is about eminent domain and property rights. As I wanted to take a moment to address a related concern that's been raised by some, the idea of using eminent domain to take private property. We've all seen what has happened in other towns when government oversteps in this area. In Long Branch, for example, entire neighborhoods were condemned and redeveloped under the banner of progress. Families were forced to leave their homes they had owned for generations. That's not the kind of community we want to be. Here in Sayreville, we believe strongly in the fundamental right of people to own their property. Even in our designated redevelopment areas, the borough has consistently chosen not to use condemnation powers. Our approach has always been based on cooperation and partnership, never coercion. Some have suggested that the borough should consider using eminent domain to acquire property like the parcel near Kennedy Park. I want to be very clear. This would be a very dangerous precedent. Once you start taking private property for one purpose, it becomes much easier to justify doing it again. And who's to say where it stops or who might be affected next, depending on who's in power at that time. Sayreville's leadership has always stood for fairness, transparency, and respect for property rights. That won't change. We will continue to protect our residents, their homes, and their right to keep what is theirs. All right, that being done, we will go to
Nicely,
business administrator, beg your pardon?
nicely said, Mayor.
Uh, General discussion.
Authorization to execute an agreement with the County of Middlesex for the acceptance of the fiscal year 2027 Municipal Alliance Grant in the amount of $18,183. Authorization for the tax collector to cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% tax exemption for the home being used for disabled adults for Block 200, Lot 2.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to execute a memorandum of understanding with the County of Middlesex for use of specialized equipment.
Any objection? Okay, was there any objection on the first item for the County of Middlesex and the municipal grant? Okay. That being said, I'll move to the business administrator's report.
Authorization to appoint Jennifer Larson to librarian 3 in the library, retroactive to October 1st, 2025.
Danielle?
Thank you, Mayor.
Had more.
Oh, you had more. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to report our follow-up with Jersey Central. When this odyssey started, we were a little bit north of 300 lights. As of today, 180 of the lights have been repaired, and they continue to work. They've been out almost every night doing that. And remediation, environmental remediation of the old town hall next door is underway. Now I'm done.
Would you explain what part of the remediation and what's involved?
Well, actually, it'd be more of a Jay thing than it would me.
Jay, if you'd go over what phase of remediation it is and what type of company does that remediation and what the dangers are.
The biggest problem is the asbestos in the building. The company is remediating the asbestos. There's tiles, there's plaster, there's caulking around windows. So anything that's associated with the asbestos removal is being taken care of as part of this phase of work. That'll allow your future phases to take place.
Okay, just so everybody understands the danger of asbestos, I had a favorite restaurant in Elizabeth, and I got to know the owner who, once he finished his military, this was in the Portuguese section of Elizabeth, and once he finished his military duty at like 26, he came over here. And long story short, he ended up with a coffee truck and built it into a restaurant, et cetera. Very successful guy. And then one day, after a lot of years of enjoying his restaurant, he told me that he had asbestosis. And we talked about it. And he said when he first came to America, he ended up in a scrapyard. And part of his job was sawing up large pieces of fiberglass. And long story short, it took him. He died of asbestosis. A small amount of asbestos can kill you. So this is a highly specialized work. And that's why we're not letting anybody in there because it becomes a liability. And first of all, it becomes a great danger to their personal health. And then the ensuing liability to the taxpayers of Sayreville if that person unfortunately contracts asbestosis on our property. So that being said, that's why we don't allow anybody in there. These are highly trained, specialized contractors who deal in asbestos removal. And Jay, I would have to guess there are multiple coats of lead paint on various parts of the building.
That's why the walls, it's basically going to be taken out to the studs inside the building. The majority of it is going to be removed and disposed of properly.
Okay. All right. And that's where the progress is. It's not a secret. It's for the safety of the people of Sayreville. And this is part of the process of bringing an older building up to current code. It'd be the same thing when we get around to putting the elevator in there. That's the current code. So that being, what's that?
He said we can't even get one in here.
Yeah. You know, I got to check with some people in the construction business to see if there's a shortage of elevator repairman or something like that. Okay, anything else, Glenn?
No.
Okay, thank you. CFO's report, Danielle?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a resolution for dedication by rider for a youth sports trust. We also submitted our 2025 best practices inventory to the DCA. It's an online questionnaire that they do every year, just to check to make sure that the borough is following through on our core competencies. We performed well, and we are on track to receive our full state aid payment. And the last thing is a transfer resolution.
All right. Borough Engineers report, Jay?
No report, Mayor, this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough Attorneys report?
Nothing this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Public portion, questions or comments on any and all issues? Other questions or comments? Yes, come on up.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Alberto Rios, Washington Road. I'm here tonight on behalf of the many Sayreville residents who have come together to express our strong opposition to the proposed development of 250 apartments on the 40 acres of land behind Kennedy Park. In just a short time, we've gathered hundreds of signatures from residents all across Sayreville. A clear and unified message that our community does not want this cherished open space turned into another dense apartment complex. Kennedy Park is the heart of our town. It's where walkers and runners come together, where families meet and children play, where basketball, handball, volleyball, pickleball, fishing, and skateboarding all happen side by side. It's a space that builds community, promotes wellness, and connects generations. Now, I understand that the property in question is not currently owned by the borough, but I want to make it absolutely clear that we, as residents, are committed to exhausting every possible option to see it acquired by the borough or preserved as open space. Under no circumstances should zone be changed to allow apartments. That land is too valuable to our community to lose to overdevelopment. And if there are any ongoing or future efforts by the borough to acquire it, we ask that those efforts be fully transparent. If attempts are made to purchase the land and the owner has no desire to sell, that must be clearly documented and made available to the public. The residents deserve to know that every reasonable step has been taken to protect this property for future generations. Earlier this year, I proposed placing a referendum question on the ballot to let the Sayreville voters decide how this land should be used. That proposal was turned down by this council. But instead of giving up, we went directly to the people, and their signatures speak for themselves. This is what the residents want. And before I close, I want to address something from our last meeting. I spoke about the Diwali festival, and I'm grateful that every council member expressed support for continuing it. And it will continue regardless of who's elected. So thank you for getting that commitment from the council. That spirit of unity, from Sayreville Day to the Festival of Lights to our summer concerts, is what makes this community special. Let's carry that same spirit forward in protecting the spaces that make those events and memories possible. Kennedy Park and the land behind it are part of Sayreville's identity, and we must do everything we can to preserve it. Thank you for your time.
Mayor? May
Yes.
I ask a question? There's a petition that's been identified here. Can we get a copy of that, the list of those on the petition so that we have an idea of who is participating in that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Just hand it to Alberto if you want to do it tonight or during the week.
I can make a copy.
They'll make a copy if you want, if you want.
Get it done tonight?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go.
Anyone else? Ken?
Thank you, Mayor. Ken Olszewski of Sayreville. Mayor, I'm delighted that you talked about such respect for property rights and property owners. What I find confusing is the fact that you don't show the same respect for people in this town. From a guy who's talked and made comments at meetings about people coming to these meetings being dopey people with no lives and a-holes, it's very refreshing that you're turning over a new leaf about property rights. You have a policy since you got here about not answering questions from the public. Let me point out, which I've done in the past, but it doesn't seem to register with some people, that since the borough became such in 1920, from my research and my time here, it's the first time in history that's ever happened in the borough that you don't answer questions from residents that come to this microphone. I find that in conflict with what you're talking about respect for property rights. I have talked to people in several states, friends, because I'm a little confused as to why you don't answer questions. I've talked to people just recently in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I've talked to people in the Poconos who are my friends, people in Bucks County where I am regularly. And I've mentioned that to him. Nobody can understand that. No one understands, and they've never heard of not answering questions. And everyone has the same answer. That sounds like corrupt government. It sounds like secret government. And the reason they don't want to answer questions is they don't want to expose what's going on. I've talked to friends in South Jersey, not as far down as the bowels of South Jersey and Philadelphia, where you hired a so-called clerk typist some time ago, and you now promoted him, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20 times, I think, to a job where he makes over $100,000 a year. I guess there was nobody in Sayreville that fit those qualifications. I guess there was no one in Middlesex County. I guess there was no one in the Tri-County area that fit those qualifications. So you had to go down to the Philadelphia area. But then I found out that that this gentleman apparently chaired one of your dark money committee funds, et cetera. Once before, you made a big deal over a contradiction about what it was. But he's raised in some shape or form through dark money funds for you, Mayor. That's what's been discussed at this microphone. It's hard to get any information because you don't answer questions. So we don't know really what in the world goes on. I talked to people and friends of mine in Hudson County. Hudson County, the bedrock of corruption in the state of New Jersey. I think that's where it all started, corruption. I talked to them about, did you ever hear about granting pilots to the extent that it's like with children, you hand out pilots to anybody that comes to town. No, they've never heard of it to that extent. We're giving hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money away in pilots, and we're not quite sure what we're getting out of it. And then I've talked to friends as far upstate as Albany, New York. I have a friend that comes down, and I talk to him about what goes on at these meetings. And I'm trying to find out how things get on the agenda, because I hear from people like Mary and from Councilman Balka that even they, elected representatives, can't understand how some things get on the agenda. Never been discussed. So it's a little bit more of backroom politics. So I wish, in addition to respecting property rights, maybe you'd start respecting people's rights, Mayor. The only ones that I can tell that you do respect is what I hear from around town and from people in the know, that you are the best friend that developers in Sayreville have ever had. Thank you very much.
Okay, just for the record, there's always a difference between people asking questions and people who have the need to make statements. When people get up who need to make statements, I let them make their statements. If it exceeds their 5-minute time limit, it exceeds their 5-minute time. It's the same process that the Board of Education uses and many governing bodies around the country, maybe not in Bucks County or Albany, but many others. Are there any more? Jim Robinson?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin. The Board of Education, by the way, answers questions at their meetings, as do most governing bodies. I want to talk about, first I want to correct something that you said about open space and affordable housing. If property is designated as open space, it is not eligible. It is not counted for affordable housing. And the proof of that is, if it were, all of our parks would be in danger of having affordable housing built there. That's not the case. So if that property had been affordable housing, wouldn't be counted in the formula, and you couldn't build affordable housing there. Now, the other thing I want to say, Mayor, based on what you said, and I've heard others say this, we're being asked to believe, Mayor, that you met with developer Peter Mocco and asked him to sell the 40 acres behind Kennedy Park so we could preserve it, and Mocco said no. And this is why I find that odd, so why I'm asking about it. In your 22 years as mayor, you never bought one parcel of open space, not a single square foot. Years ago, when the council wanted to buy property across from the 9/11 Memorial by Burks Park, you objected. In 2018, the council passed an ordinance to buy 4.5 acres from Kaplan so apartments wouldn't be built there. You vetoed the ordinance. The Democratic Council, joined by your friend Republican Pat Lembo, overrode your veto, and we preserved the land over your objection. So now we're supposed to believe all of a sudden you found religion and you wanted to preserve Mocco's 40 acres. And let's just say this. Let's think about this. We all know this. You can't just buy property. You need to discuss it with the council. You need council approval. But instead of discussing it with the council, instead of telling anyone about it, you and the BA had a secret meeting with Peter Mocco, and we are to believe that at that meeting, you asked Mocco to sell the property so that it could be preserved as open space. That didn't happen. I tell you what did happen. In October of 23, former mayors McCormick and Kilpatrick suggested we buy and preserve that property using open space money that we previously didn't have. The council ordered an appraisal, but that didn't come in until 2024 after you became mayor again. You never read the appraisal or shared it with the council. And some of you sitting up here, some members of the council, you got the appraisal from me, not from the mayor. In January of 2024, you hired the law firm that represented Mocco to be our affordable housing attorney. Then in January of this year, you made them borough attorney. That's after that law firm made a $10,000 contribution. Then Alberto Rios and Hervé Blemmer suggested a referendum to see if the people wanted to preserve that property. The borough/Mocco law firm advised against it. And your council voted 4-2 not to allow the people to vote. Surprise, surprise. We know what you've allowed to happen in town. Ride down Main Street or Cheesequake Road or drive by Costa Verde. And now we see 400 more acres will be developed as warehouses or data centers. We can't keep the power on now, as Stosh said, and we're looking at data centers. You already developed the other properties on our open space priority list. In fact, you had a personal hand in making sure that Bob Kay's 130 units by Costa Verde, where they took down 8,000 trees, will be 3-bedroom units. If you really wanted to buy the property as open space, this is what you wouldn't do. You wouldn't have put it in the affordable housing plan, overriding zoning, which prohibits apartments, and plan to put 250 of them there. By the way, for those 250 apartments, we get only 22 credits. That's right, 250 apartments and 22 credits toward our goal of 300 and something. If you wanted to buy it, if you really wanted to buy it, You wouldn't say the property was worth $20 million as you ridiculously did. Not only is that very wrong, but it's not a very smart thing to say to somebody who's interested in buying the property. If you wanted to buy the property, you wouldn't have taken money from the Open Space Committee to turn the old firehouse next door into a modern offices for the construction department. Mayor and members of the council can tell me, you never asked the council to consider buying that 40 acres for open space. You never did that. And let's preserve the property behind Kennedy Park.
Thank
And
you,
if this
Jim.
council won't,
Your time is,
Alberto Rios and Hervé Lemmer will.
thank you, Jim.
Thank you. You're welcome, Mayor.
Okay, so as I said before,
Mayor, would you like to try to close the public?
not yet. Well, are there any more questions? There are. So let me do this. This is from Peter Mako to our BA. The subject is 40 plus or minus acres adjacent to Kennedy Park, dated January 29, 2025. Mr. Skarzinski, in response to the inquiry, please be advised that I have no intentions of listing for sale or selling the land purchased over 35 years ago, the parcel containing 40 plus or minus acres, which is adjacent to Kennedy Park. Sincerely, Peter Mako. That being said, and as to the last person that got up, there are people who would like to make statements, and there are people that like to ask questions. So the last two senior gentlemen were mostly interested in making a statement. That being said, young lady.
Kelly Wank Mueller, 84 Pine Tree Drive. I just wanted to come up and say about the scare in the air.
About the what, dear?
The scare in the air, the Halloween event that
Yes.
Sharon, okay. My opinions have been loud on social media. My complaints at this microphone at times have been loud, and I think it's only fair that when good things happen, they are loud as well. So the scare in the air, my kids were already talking about what are we going to be next year? How are we going to dress? It was really a fun time. But the thing that was better than that, to see everybody who's usually at each other's throats were together that day. And in the morning, Alberto was there helping set up. Donna and Anthony were handing out pizza. Everybody was together. And it was like, I haven't felt that in a long time with our community. So kudos again to Sharon and Chris and the whole committee for putting that together. It was such a good time. Yeah, oh, one more thing. Someone, and I don't know who to personally thank up here, but someone made it possible for my daughter to do softball with free registration this year. There was a time when I was a single mom that I couldn't afford to register my kids to play sports. And I know that that decision has helped so many families to be able to get their kids into sports right now. So whoever it is, thank you very much. And that's it. I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert? Bob Duffy, 111 Merritt Avenue. I want to take this time to thank two people on the council. As you know, I was in front of the planning board, me and my neighbors fighting for the second time. Stash came down, gave me a call and said, I want to meet you down by your house and look and see what's going on. And I want to thank Stash very much, on hands kind of guy. And we're looking at what's going on. We're showing him what thing. And he says, I'm really upset. I said, well, I'm really sorry, Stash. I'm not upset at you. I'm upset what's going on here on the property. And I want to thank John on the planning board for giving the support to me and my neighbors. So I want to thank both of you publicly for your help. Mr. Kaczynski, Glenn, I have paid a bill to an ambulance service that I was told I'm not supposed to be paying. You have an agreement with Hackensack Meridian. I'm fighting them to get the money back.
Give me a call tomorrow in the office. I'll make a phone call. We'll get that handled.
Thank you. Thank you. Glenn, explain how that should work, please.
The arrangement we have is they'll soft bill you. The only thing you're obligated to pay is anything your insurance, if you have insurance, will cover. If not, the balance you don't need to pay. Give me a call tomorrow, Bob. We'll get the
Yeah,
information. and
I
I'll
didn't
follow up.
know this until you told me a couple weeks ago.
Take care of it.
So, I just know if I'm starting to fight to get it back, they're gonna say, what agreement?
You won't have to fight. Just call me.
Sounds good. Music to my ears. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Robert. Is there anyone else? Being no one else, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion. Oh, I'm sorry. Bob, come on up.
Bob Egan, Elizabeth Street. I don't understand the whole workings of resolutions and referendums, but I've seen people on the council with a resolution that was made, and then after it was accepted, they came back later and it was redone and it was turned down for, I'm talking about the pilots. Now, there was a referendum on a ballot for the firehouse and Borough Hall to be restored. And I don't know if I missed the meeting, but it was arbitrarily, as far as I could tell, disregarded that the people in town voted for that to be done. And then it's finished. I don't know if you can explain how that works.
It's being done.
But it's being used as construction offices, not as
The
a
mandate-
historical
The mandate
society.
was to preserve the building, and the building is being preserved.
So you're using semantics. You're just, it's not, that wasn't the intent for the historical society to say, hey, how about preserving this? You guys wanted to bulldoze it before that time, basically. You said
Right, but
this
then we
thing-
had a ballot referendum, and the people of the town wanted it preserved, and it's being preserved.
Right, but it's being
So
preserved.
should we spend $3 million to have a building that sits empty and we get to say it's a spiffy old building, or should we put it to good use and take our employees that have been stuck in temporary trailers for 25 years into a suitable working environment that's safe and secure? We get to satisfy both needs in one fell swoop.
So then it's going to be open for the historical society to use it for
No.
events. Well, then it's not, then that's
No,
not. what it was
it was never going to be a museum. Bob, 1909, when that building was built, it stored the fire engine. There was the police were in the basement with jail cells, and then the other floors were borough office and meeting spaces. It's always been office and meetings over the years. I don't know where this thing is up that somehow it needs to be preserved as a museum circa 1909 and have no other function but to do tours in it. It was always office and meeting. And it's just, the only thing we're doing, as Jay said, it has incredibly dangerous levels of asbestos and lead paint, and is being remediated to modern construction standards. Also, we have to put in an elevator. The basement where the jail cells are from the old police headquarters, the ceiling is too low, so we're leaving the jail cells there. I don't know if you know, but my chief of staff is a retired Sayreville police officer. When he first started on PD, I think beginning of the 70s, the police department and the jail cells were in the basement of this building. So the purpose of the building is to serve the public function, and which is exactly what we're doing. The outside will be preserved in a circa 1909. The inside is just modern office space. It's going to be incredibly expensive. I mean, what do we have, about 2,600 between the two floors, Jay? Right. And at a $3 million cost, it'll probably end up being the most expensive office space in the borough. But we're continuing its use as office space for the borough of Sayreville. Nothing has changed since 1909.
I think that's a far cry from what we originally heard way back when the Historical Society approached the borough to do this. It
There's
seemed
a
like they wanted to
complete,
knock
wait a
it
minute,
down.
Bob, there's a complete building over by the senior center, which is their museum. They don't buy a roll of toilet paper there. The borough pays for everything. That is for them to use for the Historical Society, which is not a borough entity. It's a private entity. My understanding, it was set up that way so people could donate the artifacts, historical artifacts from their personal homes. And that's the function it serves. I don't know where this thing comes up, like we're gonna renovate this to 1909 to show somebody a gas lamp or a kerosene lamp or an early electric lamp from 1909. Why would we ever do that? Why would we ever take a full building that we need for office space and not use it for office space, which we really need?
And I have one other thing you can comment on if you want, or it's a question maybe. When did you receive that letter from Mr. Mako?
What's the date?
January 29th of this year.
And he waited that long because certain people here have been talking about that property for how long, and it just came up now?
No, that was the second conversation that we had with Mr. Mako, but it was revisited and no one believed we had the conversation. So I reached out again to him, and this was a written response, which anybody's entitled to see a copy of, but there's no secrets here.
And I believe a couple of meetings ago, we went over it quite a few times. Because I had asked the business administrator if we had reached out and what was the disposition of that outreach, which he answered with that.
Right, it was
memo.
brought up, but there was never any solid evidence of when that took place. Now there was a date on there. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Bob. Any other questions or comments? Frank?
Frank Terzino, 32 Canal, Sayreville, our town president, historical. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but I want to do some clarifications. First, we're very happy that the building is being renovated. It's been a long journey for us from 2018 till, anyway, we're very satisfied with the renovations. However, we're not satisfied. And it's your building, do whatever you want. But we did come to you guys and suggest what we should do. And for the last 3 years, people ask what's going on. I said, well, we would like to see this, we would like to see that. And people I said, that's a good idea. And then we suggested a committee to say, what's the best use of the building? I think you guys even agreed at that time. But just to set it straight, we didn't say, yeah, it's going to be this, it's going to be a museum. We'd like that, but,
Frank, we're not at that stage yet. We said you
Yeah,
could
I
meet with
understand.
the architect.
Right.
We're not at that
Yeah, I understand.
at that stage yet.
I understand, yeah. But it's not like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We don't have control. You guys have control. It's just an opinion. But we like the work going on. So I'm glad the front's going to be saved. A little more communication would be great. Like I learned more here tonight than I did in weeks. So, and Glenn has been back and forth, time to time, and I appreciate that. Glenn, did you get that pathway information I sent you? Okay. That's all. I just want to say, we didn't demand anything. It's your building, do what you want. And
Frank, at the proper time,
Yeah,
you'll meet with the architect, you can make all the suggestions, and then it's up to it's just the same, the motif. Take a look at the office space in the borough.
Yeah, I understand.
It's going to be pretty similar.
Yeah, I understand. like we did tell people over the years, we like to see this and that and so, but anyway, it's your building, you're doing a great job next door. We appreciate it being fixed, and that's the center point of town. And it's going to be awesome. I know it's going
Frank,
to
as you know, the basement was flooded with water. There was all kind of
there
seepage,
was-
sewage.
be, right.
That building was that building was getting close to demolition.
Yeah, it's-
Because, but
because
we're
it was
investing the money.
It's been neglected for 30-some years, not even a coat of paint in 30 years.
Well,
So it's not
Frank.
all, anyway,
All right.
here's where we are now. We like the work going on. The guys are really nice. I chat with them outside. And it's going to be a good thing. You'll see when we cut the ribbon. It's going to be fantastic. Everybody's going to win. So, but we didn't.
And Frank,
people-
remember, you asked to go in before any demolition started. We
Yes. Yes.
we made accommodations.
Yeah.
There were certain artifacts that you felt were good for the
Yes.
Historical Society. There was no objection, no.
Yeah. And that was much appreciated. Believe me, we got some really cool stuff.
We may not do 100% of what people ask us, but we do a fair amount.
I understand.
So,
And we did clean out the 2 floors. We volunteered ourselves.
well, thank you.
And the borough guys had the dumpster out there. We put the metal aside, and so we try to do our part, you know. This is a joint adventure, I hope. And
Well,
but we appreciate, you know,
Right.
what you can do. But I think that's all I got.
Thank you,
I
Frank.
wasn't going to speak
All right, and thank you for
Just
your
wanted to
work
set
with
the
the
record
Historical
straight.
Society.
Pardon me?
Thank you for your work with the Historical Society.
It's my pleasure, believe me. All right, thank you.
And you too, Julie. Okay, any other comments, questions? Being none, I'll take a motion to close the public portion.
moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
I had one last thing which escapes my senior mind. So I'll call for an adjournment.
Mayor, may I just say one thing? Frank, I was talking to Jay about trying to save the ceiling, the tin ceilings. Apparently, they're in such a bad state of repair and all of the lead paint on them and everything. The inspector felt that they were not worth it. Hopefully, maybe we can get a couple of pieces and maybe we can just show it someplace. But as far as redoing the whole ceilings, it would be astronomical and, you know, they've been damaged too much. I just wanted to let you know that. Yeah. And I think what upsets people, because it really upsets me, is half of the time I hear about these things, I'm at different functions outside. I'm a city council person and I knew nothing about a decision to put the zoning offices in there. We're not discussing anything here at meetings so that the public knows, hell, so I know what we're doing. Thank you.
I did one thing before we leave. This is one I was struggling with. Those 4 construction trailers, it's probably 15 or 20 years ago, I received a call from Jim Gillette, who was a local resident, a benefactor to the town, a great benefactor to the brain-injured children. And he called me up and he said, Mayor, I have 4 construction trailers that I would like to donate to the borough. And I said, they'll be more than welcome, Jim. So with Jay Cornell, Jay, was that about 20 years ago or 15?
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah. And it gave us the construction office. Construction used to be in the basement here, if I remember correctly. And it gave them a much larger space. And it was a gift from the town benefactor. And Jimmy, thank you. Your gift served us well and helped the people of Sayreville greatly. And that's everything that you ever did for the borough of Sayreville was with the most honest intentions. And you are remembered and you are sorely missed. So Jim Gillette, we thank you for many things, this just being one of the many. With that, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Favor.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.